The New York Giants have 20 free agents that they have to make a decision on. And on today's show, we're going to go player by player, and I'm going to tell you which guys the Giants should resign and which guys they should let go. First, though, speaking of 2025, if you want the Giants to get back on track, get back to being competitive, and have a shot to win the NFC East next season, hit that thumbs up icon right now. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. 20 free agents for Joe Schoen to make a decision on heading into the 2025 NFL offseason, and some veterans and some people that have some tenure built up with this organization that Joe Schoen is going to have to make a decision on if he wants to have them put pen to paper to return to his team or let them enter free agency and maybe have them play their last days as a New York Football Giant. Let's start with the wide receiver, Darius Slayton. There's been a lot of talk on if the Giants should bring Slayton back. Should they let him walk in free agency? And the decision I have come to on Mr. Darius Slayton is letting him walk in free agency. I need a player at the receiver spot that I can just rely on more to catch the football. Slayton is not a bad football player. He's also not a great football player. And I also think that the Giants just need to move on and get some new life and some new blood at that spot. I think he can be successful on a really already kind of built-out offense that has some veterans around it. But I'm not paying Darius Slayton $10 million. I'm not paying Darius Slayton $9 million. And I think that's what his asking price is going to be. So the first tough decision I would make if I was Joe Schoen was to let Darius Slayton walk, and I would use his money to go sign someone else, maybe like T. Higgins or maybe like Chris Godwin. Let's stay on offense, and let's go to the quarterback position. Drew Lock signed a 1-year, $5 million deal with the Giants this past offseason, and I think that should be his only year with the Giants. Played good in the game against the Colts. Outside of that, though, he looked like a top 50 quarterback at best this year. The Giants have to just get more talent at that position. Tommy DeVito's the only one returning under contract, and I would let Drew Lock walk. The Giants are going to draft a quarterback. I think they should go out and sign a veteran, someone that's a little bit better than Drew Lock. Someone I would bring back to town, and hopefully the Giants do, is the local guy, Greg Van Roten, the right guard, who has the versatility to also play center. I'm not penciling him in as my starting right guard, but I love the idea of him being my sixth offensive lineman off the bench, the first guy off the bench. Can play guard, can play center, did that down the stretch, and the offensive line for the Giants looked fine. I would love to have Greg Van Roten, the local guy, back home with this football team next year. A lot of talk as well has been made about Azeez Ojulari. The Giants did not trade him at the trade deadline. And for that reason, you have to re-sign him. And he's a good football player. We know the injuries are a really quite big question mark about his NFL career. But when Ojulari has been available, he's been able to produce. Had 6 sacks last year. I like the idea of him being that third pass rusher on a team. I wonder a little bit about his ability to set the edge and be a factor in the run game. But he's still a young player. You didn't get anything back for him via a trade, so go out and sign him. I'll give him a 1-year, 2-year deal. Not breaking the bank for Azeez Ojulari, but I would be a lot more happy if he was on this team next year than if he was not. A player the Giants signed late last year, Adoree Jackson. I'm going to let him walk. Giants just need a better player there. I don't expect Adoree Jackson to make a lot of money. Maybe if he wants to come back again on a 1-year veteran minimum deal, I would be interested. But I'm looking for a bit better of a player and a guy that could bring some new blood and some new ideas and maybe a veteran that's a leader to this team. Not saying Jackson was, but I think the Giants could use a strong vocal leader there and a teacher as well. Jason Pinnock is someone I would also like to bring back. But I'm not bringing Jason Pinnock to be my penciled-in starter at free safety. I think Pinnock should be a third safety on a team. You're having Tyler Nubin coming back for year 2. Who knows who that guy is going to be next to him? I would like to bring Pinnock back to be that third guy, play more in the box, come off the edge. Maybe he's looking for a bigger payday and a guaranteed starting role, but I would like to bring him back. A player that I've always loved, the athleticism and all that, is Isaiah Simmons. Unfortunately, he has just not got it to click so far in his NFL career. I wonder if he is too versatile. I wonder if he's just average at everything and not great at anything. I would let him walk in free agency. If you want to come back on a cheap 1-year deal, sure. Once again, I'm not paying big bucks to Isaiah Simmons. And I don't expect him to get big bucks. I like the idea of him as a special teams player. Made that play against the Seahawks. Also made a couple of other blocks on kick returns and punt returns. He's got athleticism, sure, but, man, I don't know, and I almost wonder if it's worth just giving someone else that spot. Again, 1-year veteran minimum, sure, but I'm not paying much more. Aaron Stinnie is also someone that I would re-sign. Played left guard for you a little bit this year. He's a veteran. I think he is a decent offensive lineman. Gives you some more veteran, depth on this roster. Offensive line depth have always been a question mark. If Greg Van Roten and Aaron Stinnie are your two guys that can play guard, center, flex, I like that idea. I would bring Stinnie back as well as Greg Van Roten. A player that I am really adamant about the Giants keeping this year is Ihmir Smith-Marsette. Since Joe Schoen has taken over at that general manager spot, he has not been able to get the kick returner or punt returner position right. And I thought Ihmir Smith-Marsette, I know he had the big punt return, but beyond that, he was so close to breaking a lot of them. And he's had some big kick returns brought back because of penalty. This is the guy I want in the building. He's a leader. He brings a lot of energy. He's a good teammate. He's someone that the coaches like. He gives you that really just comfortable feeling of him returning punts and kicks. I don't hate the idea of him being a 6th or 7th wide receiver that you keep. Ihmir Smith-Marsette, I didn't think I'd be saying this. Someone I want back on the New York Football Giants next year. I'm also wanting to re-sign Gunnar Olszewski, who missed the entire year. Let's bring some competition to the kick returner, punt returner spot. Because that's somewhere where the Giants have been burned at since Joe Schoen has been here. Richie James, Eric Gray, Sterling Shepard, Adoree Jackson. The list goes on. I would bring both those guys back, and I'd let them battle out and let the best man win. I like Ihmir Smith-Marsette a little bit more, but Olszewski was once an All-Pro as well. Greg Stroman Jr., I'm going to let him walk the DB in free agency. No real strong feelings to end up bringing him back. I think there's just better players available. Chris Manhurts is someone I would like the Giants to bring back. 3rd or 4th tight end, blocking tight end, knows his job, knows why he's on a football team. It's to be that extension of the offensive line. He's a veteran. Supposedly was a good guy to have in the building. I'd like to bring him back as a blocking tight end. That's what he is, as he had 3 receptions for 30 yards and somehow caught one of the only Giants touchdowns this year. We'll talk more about free agents that the Giants should let come back or let walk. First, though, I got to give a huge shout-out to our proud sponsor, Game Time. The NFL playoffs are rocking, and they are rolling. And with our app, Game Time, you can get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed for the NFL playoffs. I use it to go to all my sporting events. I use it to go to concerts. You can also use it to go to theater events and comedy shows. Shane Gillis was just in town. I know a couple of chat sports people use Game Time to get their tickets, and they got great seats, and they got them for a great price. And a couple of them got to use that promo code ChatSports, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets and flash deals, views from the seats, and lowest price guaranteed. If you use that all-in pricing feature, as well as the Game Time Picks feature, you're going to lock yourself into the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Game Time Picks makes it that much more easy to go see your favorite people perform. So download the app, create an account, use that promo code ChatSports. That's CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase, where terms do apply. What time is it? It's game time. All of that information is clickable down in the comments and the description of today's show. Quarterback Tim Boyle is somebody that I would let walk in NFL free agency. Kind of the same thing with Drew Lock. The Giants are going to have to go give out a decent-sized contract to a veteran quarterback. I'd like to have 4 quarterbacks on the roster throughout training camp. Maybe if you want to have him be a rostered veteran quarterback as an arm, I'd like to just kind of, look more towards a younger player with some upside. But I want DeVito here. He's going to be here. I want a veteran. I want a rookie. And then one other guy, maybe that's Tim Boyle, but definitely not a priority for me, as I would be totally fine if another guy came in. Ty Summers, appreciate what you did for the Giants this year. Know you're a special team specialist. Know you're someone that brings a lot of energy to the locker room. I'm going to let him walk. No real interest there. Armon Watts as well, the defensive lineman who's played with the Patriots. I believe he's played with the Steelers. Spent some time with the Giants. Had a season end with an injury. I'm going to let him walk. Elijah Riley, missed the 2024 season due to injury. Went on IR before the year. I would let him walk and bring somebody else in here. Chris Hubbard, the veteran on the offensive line, played in 5 games for the Giants. I thought he was a good run-blocking left tackle. He was very suspect as a pass protector. I think the Giants could look for a little bit more help there, a little bit more proven talent and better talent. Maybe 1 year, 11th guy for the offseason, but not on my 53. Matthew Adams, a special team specialist. Going to let him walk in free agency. He's had injury issues with the Giants, had injury issues before. If you're going to go out and you're going to pay $1 million in guaranteed money to a special team specialist, let's have them be healthy. No interest in bringing Matthew Adams back. Casey Kreider, longtime long snapper, Longfellow Deeds, going to be back with the Giants, I believe. He's been a captain. I would bring him back. And then Jamie Gillen, the punter. I've been critical of him, but he's got a strong leg. Maybe you bring him back. I probably would. I don't know what the punter market out there exactly looks like right now, so hard for me to say let him go and bring somebody else in. He's had some success, got a big leg, familiarity as well. I'd bring him back unless just a better option totally presents itself. So 20 guys. Should they stay or should they go? What was the biggest one you disagree with? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of thoughts on Slayton as well as Ojulari. Sound off and give me a follow on social media at @MarshallGreen_.